The delegation hall of the Iridian Empire shimmered with pale silver walls that hummed like a calm river. Rows of alien officials stood in formal silence, their robes flowing like liquid metal. At the far end of the hall, raised on a circular dais of glowing stone, sat the Iridian Queen. Her presence alone filled the vast room with a sense of gravity. She was tall, elegant, and carried herself with a serene confidence that made even her advisors stand a little straighter. The humans stood on the opposite side, a small group of Vav, explorers who had traveled months through space to open peaceful contact. They had expected scanners, guards, and endless questioning. They had not expected an audience with the Queen herself. Among the group was the youngest member, a quiet human named Eli. He had joined the mission as an assistant technician, and no one imagined he would be the center of attention. He kept his hands clasped behind his back and tried not to draw notice. The Queen observed the delegation with calm eyes. Her people had studied humans from afar. They admired their resilience, curiosity, and unusual ability to adapt to strange environments. The Queen raised her hand, and her gesture made the room still. She spoke in a soft voice that carried across the hall. She said that the humans were welcome guests and would be treated with respect. Her voice echoed faintly against the metallic walls. The human delegation leader bowed politely and began his formal introduction. Eli stood among the others, quietly taking in the sight of the hall. He noticed the soft blue symbols glowing on the walls. They pulsed like heartbeats. He wondered what they meant. While his mind drifted, he did not realize the Queen's gaze settling on him. The Queen leaned forward ever so slightly. Her advisors exchanged quick looks. Something in her expression changed. It was as if she had caught a spark no one else noticed. She raised one hand and pointed gently. The hall grew silent. She gestured toward Eli and spoke in a steady voice. She said that the youngest human was hers. The human delegation went still. Eli froze in place. He felt every pair of eyes turn toward him. He could not understand what she meant. He wondered if he had done something wrong. The Queen's advisors lowered their heads respectfully. The human delegation leader opened his mouth, closed it, then tried again. He asked kindly what the Queen meant by calling the young human hers. The Queen explained in calm words. She said Eli carried a rare presence that her people valued. She said he held something she called a luminous calm. It was a quality only a few species possessed. It allowed certain individuals to project harmony into tense situations. Her species believed that those with this trait played a vital role in diplomacy. She said Eli had displayed this trait from the moment he entered the hall. Eli stood stiffly, unsure how he became the focus of an alien monarch. He did not feel calm. He felt very confused. Still, there was no threat in her voice, no demand, only certainty. The Queen did not rise from her seat. She simply tilted her head, waiting for the humans to respond. The delegation leader asked Eli to step forward if he was willing. Eli hesitated for a second, then took a small step, then another. He walked down the length of the hall toward the Queen. His steps echoed softly. He felt strangely light, as if the room itself encouraged him. When he reached the dais, he lowered his head respectfully. The Queen studied him. She asked his name. He told her gently. She repeated it with perfect clarity. She asked if he knew he had this rare presence. Eli said he had never thought about it. She nodded thoughtfully. She said sometimes individuals were not aware of the traits others admired. She extended her hand in a greeting gesture her species used. The gesture resembled an open hand held close to the heart. Eli mirrored the gesture, remembering the brief cultural training session before their mission. The Queen looked pleased. The hall relaxed slightly. Her advisors observed the scene carefully. The humans exchanged quiet glances. No one knew what would happen next. The Queen asked Eli if he wished to serve as a bridge between their species. She said he would learn their customs, walk among her people, and help two civilizations understand each other. She said it was an honor she offered only to those she believed would shape the future. Eli hesitated. His heart raced. He had joined the mission to repair equipment and assist the engineers. He had never imagined a role so large. He did not want to make a choice that affected his team without speaking to them. He asked politely if he could discuss this with his group. The Queen nodded gently. She said choices made freely carried deeper meaning. Eli walked back to his team. The group huddled around him. They whispered quietly. Some encouraged him to consider the offer. Others worried about his safety. The delegation leader asked him how he felt. Eli admitted he felt overwhelmed, but not frightened. He said the Queen did not seem to demand anything harmful. He said it felt more like an invitation than an order. After a long moment, Eli looked across the hall at the Queen. She waited with patience. He took a slow breath, then turned to his team. He said he would accept. The leader nodded and placed a supportive hand on his shoulder. With steady steps, Eli walked back to the dais. He informed the Queen of his decision. Her expression brightened in a way her species usually kept reserved. She rose gracefully from her throne. The advisors straightened. The glow on the walls deepened. The Queen declared that the bond of cooperation between their species had begun. She placed her hand gently above his shoulder. It was a gesture of recognition in her culture. She said he would be guided, taught, and respected. She introduced him to her advisor named Terran, who had a calm disposition and wore dark robes that shimmered with soft colors. Talon gave Eli a polite bow. He would be responsible for teaching Eli about Oridian customs. Eli felt comforted by the gentle tone in Talon's voice. The hall's atmosphere grew warm with quiet celebration. Several Oridian officials stepped forward to offer traditional greetings. Some extended their hands toward him in graceful arcs. Others bowed slightly. Eli returned each gesture carefully. The Queen watched with approval. The humans were invited to stay in the palace for the evening. Eli was given a small chamber near the Queen's gardens. The chamber walls glowed with faint blue patterns. A soft warmth filled the air. The furniture was smooth and welcoming. He sat down slowly on the bed and tried to process everything. He had never imagined his first mission would lead to this. Talon visited him and explained the role of a luminous calm bearer. He said the Oridians believed such individuals balanced tension in unpredictable situations. Talon said their records showed that a few humans in the past had displayed the trait. However, none had ever been invited into the Queen's circle. Eli asked if he would be expected to stay permanently. Talon explained that the Queen valued choice above all. If Eli ever wished to leave, the Queen would not stop him. That answer eased Eli's mind. He thanked Talon, who gave him a small gesture of respect before leaving. Later that night, Eli wandered to the garden outside his chamber. Tall plants with silver leaves swayed gently. Blue lights floated between them like drifting fireflies. The air smelled faintly of something sweet and calm. He walked along a stone path and found himself thinking about home. He wondered if he was ready for this role. He wondered if he could truly bridge two worlds. He felt uncertain, but also hopeful. The next morning, he was brought to a learning hall where young Oridians practiced diplomacy exercises. The hall was filled with round tables and glowing panels. Talon guided Eli through the customs of greeting, conversation rhythm, and the importance of posture in Oridian culture. Eli learned quickly. He listened carefully and asked thoughtful questions. The students were fascinated by him. Some asked about Earth's oceans. Others asked about human music. He tried his best to answer. Word of the Queen's choice spread across the palace. People whispered respectfully as Eli passed. Some offered quiet greetings. A few seemed unsure, but Talon helped him navigate every situation with patience. By the afternoon, the Queen invited Eli to join a council session. Representatives from distant colonies had gathered to discuss regional matters. Eli sat quietly beside Talon. The Queen introduced him as a symbol of unity. Some council members looked intrigued. Others seemed uncertain about a human in such a room. During the session, 2 council members disagreed about the future of a trading route. Their voices grew tense. The room grew stiff. Eli felt an odd sensation rising within him. It was like warmth spreading quietly from his chest. He did not speak. He simply remained present, calm, and steady. The tension slowly eased. The 2 members settled into clearer reasoning. Talon noticed the shift. The Queen did too. She nodded with approval. When the session ended, the Queen asked Eli to walk with her through the grand corridor. She told him he had helped without saying a word. She said his presence shifted the tone of the room. She told him that was why she recognized him the moment he entered the hall. Eli thanked her for trusting him. He said he would do his best to learn. The Queen told him learning was a shared journey. She said she learned from him as well. She explained that humans saw the universe with a different spirit. She said that spirit inspired her people. Days passed with gentle rhythm. Eli learned more about the Oridians. He visited classrooms, gardens, archives, and observation decks that overlooked the planet's glowing rings.